Yesterday I showed a situation when a connection between neutral and ground can cause sparks. And some people assumed that meant there was a shock hazard. There is no shock hazard there. See, I'm holding the wire. There is 20 amps flowing on this jumper, but only about 3 volts of potential, so no shock hazard. It's really close to being a shock hazard. If this neutral feeding the panel has anything go wrong with it, that becomes a shock hazard. And in a minute, I'm going to disconnect the neutral and put a jumper in with that neutral disconnected to show you what happens. But this is the setup I had. I've plugged in 67 amps of hot plates, and I'm running all 67 amps on one leg, so that I also have 67 amps on the neutral. So this conductor is the grounded conductor or the neutral, and this is the equipment grounding conductor. They go to the same place in the service, but they have different jobs in your house. But that means if I make a connection from this to that, some of those 67 amps will ride on that connection and take the ground back as its parallel path. And because this neutral and this ground are connected to the neutral bar and ground of this panel, a connection from here to there is the same as a connection from here to there. So that puts about 22, 23 amps on that jumper, but only about 4 volts of potential between, which 4 volts is enough to push current across the jumper, but not enough to shock you. But if I disconnect the neutral, my voltage goes to the full 120. So that jumper is an intentional code violation that I've put in place. What code does it violate? In the 23, it violates 250.24b. You will make no connections between the grounded conductor, which is the neutral, and non-current carrying equipment on the load side of the service disconnecting means. It doesn't say the first means of disconnect. This is not a new rule. Here's a 1940 NEC, and it says the same exact wording. No grounding connection will be made between the grounded circuit conductor on the load side of the service disconnecting means. So if you wire something intentionally or unintentionally that creates a connection between the neutral and a ground, and your neutral becomes compromised, watch what happens. Okay, we're up and running, and watch what happens when I disconnect the neutral. Neutral is disconnected. Yeah, this is generally not how you want your wiring to act in your home. We separate our grounds and neutrals on the load side of the service disconnecting means. And for a long time, people have used this slang, and I've done it too, after the first means of disconnect. That's just not good language. You know, check with Random Sparky. He's one of the users. He'll be happy to let you know why that's bad wording. It's never been the proper code term to say after the first means of disconnect, but a new code change in 2020, 2030.85 has basically also made it an incorrect way to word it. All right, thank you very much.